I have played Returnal for over 50 hours at this point. I've gotten the secret ending. I am absolutely hooked on this game, and I want to tell you why I love it so much right now. Okay, so look, I fully realize that there have been challenges with Returnal that a lot of players have been having, like with the crashes and such, but I'm going to get to that in a second. First, I just want to tell you that I never expected to be hooked on this game, and I am totally enamored and just I am loving everything about Returnal. It's basically a bullet hell shooter. It is third person and it nails momentum, it nails combat, it nails gunplay, it uses the controller in interesting ways. A lot of people have talked about the audio, which I still need to experience. I have a pair of headphones that can do the fancy audio stuff that it does. But man, Returnal has just been like an addictive thing I cannot put down. It is actually a problem. I need to stop playing and work on some features for the game. But basically, I love it. I don't really know what's going on in the story. I don't care because the combat and gameplay hook is just so good. Basically, you crash on this planet, you're stuck in a time loop, and there are 6 biomes, all sort of have different quirks to them, different enemies to them, that Celine needs to navigate and defeat these bosses to uncover more of the confusing story. But the combat is what I want to talk about. Man, once you sort of learn the combat loop and the power-ups and how to like the risk reward of picking up stuff that might give you a malfunction and then you have to do stuff to get rid of the malfunction, it is so interesting. It's a roguelike, right? So the main problem that people have been having basically is the game will lock up their PS5s, not permanently. You have to like unplug it and reset it, which is not ideal. A lot of people have been encountering freezing and there is no save solution. Now, a lot of people, myself included, I don't think there should be a save solution, but I do say that with a caveat. I want to be able to shut off the game, leave it in the state that I was at, right? Shut it off, watch a movie or something, and then be able to come back. And right now, basically, if you quit the game or your system updates or the game updates or anything happens for the game to stop, all of your progress is wiped and you're sent back to the beginning. So if you're on biome 3, by the way, you have to get through all 3 to unlock Act 2, for example. So you have to kill all the bosses and then get all the way to Act 2 before you have a save point. There's only 2 save points, at the beginning of Act 1, at the beginning of Act 2. And if you die at any point, or your game resets, or your system updates, then you're sent all the way back to the beginning with the default starting gear for that section. You start at level 1 for Act 1, you start at level 15 for Act 2. That is a huge problem that needs to be addressed, and actually, Housemark has actually commented on it that they are looking into it, but I honestly, like, something happened with the day 1 patch. I was not freezing. I put in like 30 or 40 hours before the day 1 patch came out, and then the day 1 patch came out and people are getting locked in rooms and they're having freezing issues. So that's problematic. And that's why like please go watch the IGN review, because Mitchell Saltzman, he did just such an amazing job on his review, and I think he hits all the points appropriately and scores it fairly. So go watch his review. This is just my take because I am totally hooked on this game. So the weapon variety, there's a set amount of weapons. It's not like infinite weapons. Like they have Anarchy from Destiny, basically. They have this crazy rocket launcher that like rapid fires and then has replicating hits. So it's sort of like Galahorn from Destiny. I make a lot of Destiny correlations. But then there's like this ice gun that sort of hits people and then the ice replicates. And all the weapons are super interesting. And a lot of them have this reload mechanic where once you burn all your bullets, you press R2 again, and then you get a boost that makes it more powerful. And if you keep reloading perfectly and not getting hit, you're constantly kicking butt. And once you learn the dance of combat, it's exhilarating. Like, I don't know how else to put it. I am constantly hooked. It's like an addiction. I pop open the game. I'm just like, okay, I just want to go kill boss 2 again, and I'll just beeline it straight to him. Get my quick power up at the start of that biome, power up a little bit in that biome, and just do the boss fight. It is just so fun to do. And especially once you know what you're doing, you can get to those bosses pretty quick. And there's daily challenges, which is really interesting because that will actually show dead players and where they failed. And I did the one yesterday and I got all the way to the final door. And then I got hit one time by this boss that basically one hits you. right near the ending. So there is one dead body that says Destin on somebody's Returnal game save, and I'm dead right at the finale of the mission. And it was rather heartbreaking because that's like one of the easier trophies that I still haven't unlocked. Yeah, the bosses, of course, it goes without saying, all the bosses are very, very challenging. It's a bullet hell shooter, so they just throw projectiles at you. You need to know how to react. You need to know how to respond to each of their attacks, and it's really good. The final boss actually is probably the easiest boss, which is a little weird. There's actually only 5 bosses now that I think of it, because there isn't one technically in the ice planet. The ice planet is probably the hardest planet, though, that you need to get through. And the world is different every time you play. So it kind of rearranges all these different structures that they've built, and you never know what you're going to get when you're running through the world of Returnal, right? So every time you reset or every time you die, you're going to get a totally different experience. And there's these xenoglyphs, I think they're called. They're like these red glowing things that you can scan to learn more about the lore of the game. And there's audio logs from Celine that you can collect to learn more about the story. I still don't have any idea what's going on 50 hours in, but I can't wait to see the lore masters talk about this game. So what is this video? Destin, what are you doing? Honestly, I just wanted to talk about Returnal because it has been it has totally hooked me. 50 hours. 50 hours of this game. I can't put it down. And man, they've really, really spoken to something. But I say that with a caveat. They need to fix these freezing problems. These freezing problems are really, really serious. And if it keeps impacting players, like it's probably happening at the worst possible time for Housemarque because they have this excellent product and people are encountering PS5s freezing. I have encountered it 3 times now, and they have to like totally reset. Now they're saying like delete your save. Does that mean that like I lose all my progress towards the secret ending if I delete my save? And to unlock the secret ending, by the way, you have to unlock all the house sequences first. So I think there's like 6 that you have to do. It ends with a plane crash. Or not a plane crash, like your ship crashing. That's the last one. So if you get that one, then you can look for the sun face things in all of the different biomes. And you can unlock the secret ending. And I hope that wasn't too spoiler heavy because I still don't know what's going on. But you'll know what happens. And basically every time you reset, there's a plane crash. So I mean, like, it's not that spoilery. That's what happens every time you die. So yeah. And what else do I got here? Yeah, that's the main thing. I wanted to make this video sort of like it's not really a review. I wanted it to just be like me talking to my friends about this game that I'm hooked on, that I can't stop playing. The gunplay is so good. The dance that you do with the enemies is just awesome. Don't forget about the reload thing because I didn't even make the connection that was the thing. It's one of those games that doesn't really tell you anything. You kind of have to figure it out through word of mouth. But I am totally hooked, and I hope you get a chance to play Returnal because I love it. Housemarque has really knocked it out of the park with this one. I've heard some people talking about the fact that it runs at 1080 or whatever default. I don't care because the gameplay is so good and gameplay is king in my opinion. The base resolution is sort of whatever. It's just sort of like an interesting point that people like to point out. But if you're running at lock 60, as long as your base resolution is 1080, that's fine with me because like you can throw like super high quality textures on everything and it's not quite as noticeable as you might think. Now, I don't want to give them a total pass for it. Like, of course, it would be better if it was a higher native resolution, but I haven't done the pixel counts for myself, so I didn't want to comment on it too much. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I still think you should play this game. It's honestly the first game of the year contender for me this year. So we're in May now. Returnal is my first game of the year contender. And I know we have a lot of great stuff coming this year, but wow, this game really surprised me. I really love it. And I hope you give it a chance. Now I realize a lot of people point out that it's $70. Hopefully there's a sale or something soon. Cause I don't know, that price point is pretty high, but hey, $70 for 50 hours. Heck, even if you just like, I think my first run took me 30 hours. So, I mean, I can't tell you what's worth it for you. For me, I love this game. I would recommend it to anybody who likes bullet hell shooters or even just shooters or Destiny. Like, I recommend it to a lot of my Destiny friends and they're having a blast. It is phenomenal. It's really, really good. Housemarque really knocked it out of the park. Kudos. So that's my take. Check it out. My recommendation is I think you should play it. It's very, very good. I cannot believe how much I liked it. I hope you like it too. With the caveat of the freezing, that definitely needs to be addressed. But that only happened to me after like playing for a really, really long time or leaving my console on for a long time. You can put it in rest mode and then you can continue from there. Anyway, that's enough for my rambles. I really like Returnal. Check it out. Yeah, so if you like these sort of videos where I ramble, seemingly like a crazy person, you can subscribe. Thank you so much to everybody who subscribed. I've also turned on memberships on YouTube. I'm humbled that you guys have decided to support me that way. It's something YouTube offers. I turned it on and people like my content enough to do that. So thank you so much to everybody who's done that so far. You guys are amazing. You're all amazing. And you know what? I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for just watching my Returnal rant about how much I love it. I hope to see you for the next one. For now, bye. Have a wonderful day. See you soon, everybody.